It's a key document that discusses the advancement of Freeport, Grand Bahama, and the government's role and involvement. I'm Clint Watson. We'll tell you all about it coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
Youth empowerment, the focus of a major conference underway in the capital.
And new champions crowned. The Bahamas tonight. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A major component of the government's plan to revitalize the economy of Grand Bahama realized today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
And I'm Karissma Robinson. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie receives the official report from the Hawksbill Creek Agreement Revision Committee. As you may know, certain concessions under that agreement expire next month. It was back in March when Prime Minister Christie established the committee to look into the age-old agreements between the government of the Bahamas and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, with a major focus on objective in mind. Clint Watson tonight has the story.
It could very well be the missing link that successive governments have ignored in their quest to lift the city of Freeport and by extension the island of Grand Bahama out of years of economic recession and hard times. On Monday, the document designed to strategically explore ways to help Grand Bahamians was presented to the nation's leader from a committee established 12 weeks ago. Head of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement Revision Committee and former cabinet minister under the first Christie administration, Dr. Marcus Bethel, calls it historic.
We're happy to present this report, recognizing that the government of the Bahamas, the policymakers, have requested this report as recommendations that they must undertake in creating policy as it relates to the forward movement of Freeport and Grand Bahama. And I think it's not only historic, but will be transformative for the Freeport and the island of Grand Bahama.
The Hawksbill Creek Agreement allows residents or licensees in the port area exemption from certain taxes, namely on business license fees and real property tax. However, parts of this agreement expire in August. Prime Minister Christie says his cabinet will review the recommendations without haste and must make a decision on the way forward as time is of the essence.
The time for the expiration of the privileges arising out of the taxation and business license exemptions will have ended, and therefore our decision is required to be able to have in place whatever regime that will be put in place to extend or otherwise.
It's been said that for too long, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, which is the blueprint for the mandate of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, has in many ways impeded growth and intervention by government for Grand Bahama residents. Revising this agreement is and has been priority for the Christie administration. Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obi Wolscombe, criticized the Hawksbill Creek Agreement's impact on Grand Bahama during his 2014 budget contribution, indicating that since the agreement was signed, it has seemingly crippled development in other parts of that island. Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, prediction of extended concessions for East and West Grand Bahama in his 2014 budget contribution have already been realized. Darville said the move will encourage entrepreneurship in the areas while allowing existing businesses to expand. Now, of course, that important meeting will take place on Tuesday afternoon at the Cabinet Office between cabinet ministers and the committee. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
All right, Clint, thanks a lot. The 19th conference of the Commonwealth Education Ministers Conference began today. Its theme, Quality Education for Equitable Development, Performance Paths and Productivity. The triennial event is considered the most defining educational caucus in the Commonwealth and will afford delegates from more than 50 countries the opportunity to address some of the many educational challenges faced by small states. One of the main objectives is to analyze education and assess the needs of youth. To that end, the CCEM Youth Forum was officially opened today, and it also serves as the inaugural Commonwealth Students Association meeting. As Janae Noel Ferguson tells us tonight, It is hoped that at the end of the conference, students, as the primary stakeholders, would have increasing engagement with policyholders.
The Youth Forum hopes to get the ideas of young people to build human capacity and develop a strategy for youth in the Caribbean. Youth Sports and Culture Minister Dr. Daniel Johnson says it's no secret that youth around the world are taken for granted.
Young, black, dynamic, dangerous, noisy, beautiful, big people, they're scary, you know. But you have to be more than what people can see. And that's the magical opportunity you all have every time you gather and you come to represent your country, you come to represent your schools, your families, your organizations. You all are going to be citizens of the world.
Minister of Education Jerome Fitzgerald was on hand for the soft opening of the exhibition, which will be officially opened by Prime Minister Perry Christie on Tuesday.
This is a significant display that allows for cross-border collaboration and exposure. It provides a hands-on experience as well as networking opportunities that you can introduce in your respective countries, resources that you can use that add value to the educational product that you offer at home.
Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
All right, Janae, that actually kicked off this morning with Janae Noel's reporting. Now, tonight, they're going to have the official opening ceremony at the Atlantis Resort. And as you may not know, half of the states in the Commonwealth are actually small developing states. And it's on that backdrop that there's going to be major discussions. Joining us live now to talk about the opening ceremony, our Keishla Adley is standing by. Keishla.
Hello there. We are just a few hours away now from the start of the 19th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers. The meeting is being held for the first time in the Bahamas. It's a meeting which takes place every 3 years, and the objective is, of course, to discuss all things education and chart the way forward for education within Commonwealth countries. About 53 countries included in this body, and delegates from all of them expected to converge in the Bahamas for this very important meeting. Right now we're going to speak with Ms. Valerie Gaitor, who is one of the coordinators of this meeting. Ms. Gaitor, good evening to you. Tell me about what we can expect. We hear the choir in the background. Of course, the opening ceremony is set for tomorrow. Tell me about some of the key objectives.
Well, the key objective of this meeting is for Commonwealth education ministers to discuss education in a post-millennium development era. And so this is really to discuss what's going to happen after 2015 for the Commonwealth in terms of education, all those sound decisions, all of those things that really would propel education forward is going to be discussed at this meeting by ministers, by youth, by stakeholders, and by teachers.
Well, we know that Prime Minister Perry Christie and, of course, the Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald will deliver addresses here tomorrow at the opening. But tell me about what to expect in the 5 days ahead.
Well, in the 5 days ahead, we will see really the Bahamas being in the spotlight of education. We have presenters from the Bahamas, we have speakers from the Bahamas, we're showcasing our culture, and so it's really a fantastic time. And I think what Bahamians need to appreciate that so many persons made such a great effort to be here for this conference because it's in the Bahamas. And we just have people from places that we even didn't know existed. When you hear names like Tuvalu and Vanuatu, you know, and really see them appear on your doorstep, then you really realize how close we are as a Commonwealth. And I think that this is really amazing, the fact that we now have about 800 international delegates at the Atlantis, really excited about education, excited to being here. A delegate from Martinique said she just got the call to say she's traveling to the Bahamas, and she thought it was a dream. And so we really have a lot to be grateful for, that we are still considered a place to visit and a place where things can happen and make a difference in the world.
So a little bit of education, a little bit of tourism. It's a mix I think we can appreciate. Of course, at the end of the 5 days, we expect a communique to be delivered by stakeholders here. But for now, that's it from the Atlantis Resort, the site of the opening of the 19th Conference of Commonwealth Ministers. I'm Keishla Adderley, reporting from the Atlantis Resort.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Platinum Bride Couture, downtown Nassau on Parliament Street. Begin your happily ever after at Platinum Bride Couture.